Doc Loves the Kids, a local Kitsap County nonprofit organization established in 2015 whose mission is to provide activities, programs, and community support for at-risk youth.
They put the you in community.
Doc Loves the Kids.
Welcome to Uncommon Courtesy,
where we give you the courtesy of conversation
that's uncommonly spoke of.
I'm D-Mac.
I'm Wesley.
And this is the show. Don't forget to like, comment, subscribe. Don't forget to catch us on our other shows, Plays and Parlays, UFC with LT, The Friday Fix, and Civil Discourse. Well, welcome to another tragic day here in America, Wesley.
How's it going, man?
It's all right, man. I hold my kids and my guns tight every day.
I mean, at this point in time, we all have to. I'm seeing a lot of different incidents where we're getting a lot of extreme, I would say, right-wing violence is going on in our country, man. And it's really it's concerning, to say the very least. It's very concerning to me.
Well, it's concerning on that. And then they try to point like, well, left-wing violence, this and that. There should be more. There actually should be more. Because you're going to have to fight back. You're either going to fight back or you're about to die on your knees. That's the way it's looking right now because, we haven't even made it out the year yet, and a whole bunch of stuff's going on. I'm gonna update everybody on the Trey Reed case. Trey Reed case update. Kaepernick funded autopsy confirms it wasn't a suicide. What really happened? With new findings of blunt force trauma, the death of Troy Reed demands answers about transparency, accountability, and the fight for justice in Mississippi. When 20-year-old black student is found dead on a Mississippi University campus, the official explanation is often swift: suicide. But for the family of Troy Reed, that story is beginning to crumble, exposing deep-seated distrust and a state still haunted by its history. The death of the Delta State University student, initially dismissed by local authorities, has taken a dramatic turn. A second independent autopsy founded by former NFL quarterback and activist Colin Kaepernick has revealed blunt force trauma to Reed's head. This casts serious doubt on the claims he died by hanging alone and fuels a fight for the truth. On the 15th of September, Reed's body was discovered hanging from a tree near a pickleball court on campus. Police quickly labeled it as suicide, publicly saying there was no foul play, while the county coroner initially reported no signs of bruises or fractures. For many, however, the conclusion felt premature and unsettlingly familiar. Reed's family immediately contested the ruling, pointing to visible injuries on his body and insisting the circumstances were profoundly suspicious. In a state where the history of lynching looms large, where deep-seated distrust of official narrative exists, the community was unwilling to accept the official line without far greater scrutiny. The narrative shifted drastically following the intervention of Kaepernick Know Your Rights Camp Autopsy Initiative, which commissioned a second post-mortem examination. The findings from the independent reviews stand in stark contrast to the initial assessment. According to the sources working closely with Reed's family, the examination revealed significant blunt force trauma to the back of his head. This evidence is fundamentally inconsistent with the death of a suicide. So basically, in the first one, we knew that, he had a fractured leg. And then the blunt force trauma to the back of the head. So, they know who did it. The school does. The cops know who did it. They let it go. And I always explain to everybody, the reason that they label this suicide is because in their minds, and forget my language, nigger shouldn't have been there no way. So you killed yourself. Just like the brother that was truck driving, he shouldn't have been there. They always try to label it suicide because your ass shouldn't have been there in the first place. So since you were there, you killed yourself.
So basically with them coming out with blunt force trauma to the back of the head now, there's no way this could be labeled any type of a suicide, at this point in time, or like that he took his own life. Let's just say that.
Well, remember initially they said, they found him in his room.
So basically with them coming back and saying that he had blunt force trauma to the back of the head, they know all the information. They didn't just do an autopsy based off of no facts. They gave them the facts of the case. This is what happened. The blunt force trauma is telling them that someone assaulted him before he was dragged to wherever he was going. And a lot of times you like to say, like, I've heard from you that you think a lot of times police officers may be involved allegedly in these kind of situations, to like, it almost would give you that kind of a thinking, because who else would be able to get you to turn around and be able to hit you in the back of the head with something to knock you out or to put you unconscious? Someone who can tell you to turn around and put your hands behind your back, anything. You know what I mean? That's what kind of would give me that kind of a assessment of the situation.
Well,
So
they said this. Yeah.
well,
he was jumped. In this one, he was jumped. I guess, they were saying that allegedly his sister had said something, negative about Charlie Kirk after his passing, and that's what initiated this, where he was jumped by about 4 to 5 individuals, and they're the ones that hung him. The school probably knows who it is. They're not going to say nothing because the police know who it is. This is Mississippi. And I don't see anyone here trying to scream, we need justice for this, because you're screaming to the same people who just covered it up to do you justice. You honestly need to just go down there and commit violence. That's all you can do. That's all you can do right at this moment. Either you're going to take it, this Mississippi, either you're going to take it and let them keep hanging people, or you're going to go down there and cause a ruckus. That's all. Those are your options.
I mean, and this happened on a HBCU as well, didn't it? Was this a black college campus, or was this not? I can't recall. I mean, I know that this happened on a college campus should also ring alarm. It should also ring bells and kind of.
No, I believe it was in just a regular school,
regular college,
Delta State University. Yeah.
Okay. You know what I mean? So I mean, at the end of the day, you really have to pay attention to like what's happening here. Like people aren't there. This isn't the first time. This has happened so many different times, especially in southern states. It seems to be in southern states where black men are found hung, and it's a suicide, or they don't know why this happened, and it's always a mystery. You know what I mean? So we really need to start paying more attention to what's going on in these states, and maybe like pay attention to ourselves a little bit more and understand where we're at, because we still live in that time frame. Like to say that we're far, far away from, we still live in that time frame. We need to start paying attention to that and keep that at the forefront of our mind when we're out there walking around and just living our daily lives, because obviously what we have to.
I always tell people that too. People don't understand when I tell them. I'm like, hey, I try to walk around with joy, because I might leave my house and never come home. And some people are like, oh, why do you have to live like that? This is why real America. I don't know about anybody else. But this is the fear every day. And I hope that my children stay safe. I try to keep them in safe areas. Like I'll have kids, they'll be like, hey, I want to go out here. I'm like, where to Belfair by yourself? Nah. You just got to know where you can't go. But this is a tragic, because the whole thing is he was at the school. He's at a college. You know what I'm saying? Like this boy was lynched. He was hung from a tree in 2025, and the police covered it up like they're doing it. Only if they would have kept it covered up if it wasn't for Colin Kaepernick. Burn the bitch down. Either you're gonna do something, or this ain't this 50s, bro. We ain't gotta take this. You know what I'm saying? Like you kill us, we're gonna kill you back. They ain't stop making guns when they made yours. Like this is what you gotta do. Like you can't stop hate with peace. Martin Luther King took all the ass whoopings for nothing.
I mean, at the end of the day, we're still in the time frame of where these things still happen. So we just got to be mindful. That's how I look at it. I mean, and we really start having to be more vigilant. And like he said, I mean, sometimes you got to take action. What happened to South Carolina Judge Dianne Feinstein's Edstow Island house? Latest on fire. Rumors were quick to fire up on what caused South Carolina Judge Dianne Goldstein's Edstow Island home to burn to the ground. The incident, which occurred on October 4th and went viral after being caught on camera, left many viewers to come up with their own interpretations of what happened, especially with Goldstein's recent ruling to temporarily block South Carolina from handing voter registration data to the Trump administration in September. But rumors are just that. As of October 7th, the fire remains under investigation. In a statement to USA Today, the South Carolina Law Enforcement Division said it launched an investigation into the fire. They also stated there's no evidence to indicate the fire was intentionally set. 3 people were rescued from the fire, were left hospitalized, including Goldstein's former senator husband, Arnold Goldstein, who broke multiple bones after jumping from the burning home, according to USA Today. Out of respect for the privacy of the Goldstein family, the South Carolina Judicial Branch will not be issuing any further comment until law enforcement concludes its investigation, the South Carolina Judicial Bench said on October 6th subsequent statement. Here's what to know about Goldstein's, the fire, and the potential rumors surrounding the event. Who is Judge Goldstein? Goldstein has served South Carolina Circuit Court since 1988 per judicial branch information. She is married to ex-Senator Arnold Goldstein and shares 2 children with him. Recent court filings show that Goldstein's ruling on a case involving the U.S. Department of Justice in September, according to USA Today. In the summer, the DOJ requested copies of the state's voter registration list from the South Carolina Election Commission. State Senator Ann Crook filed a lawsuit in August to prevent her voter information from being given to the DOJ. Crook's motion for temporary order was granted by Goldstein on September 2nd, but the ruling was cut short on September 11th when the South Carolina Supreme Court reversed the decision in an order filing. Yeah, man. So basically, she's had her house burnt to the ground. We can't say why. I don't know why. Allegedly, there's a lot of different things going on, but there was a huge fire. I mean, they said it was an explosion that happened that caused the fire, some type of explosion. I mean, all of it seems really, really convenient that it happened this way. But I mean, it was a huge fire. Her husband had to jump from probably a high place.
Second story.
Yeah.
Everyone jumped out the house. They all had broken legs. That's why they're all injured, because they had to jump from the second story to save themselves.
It's a big house, not like a regular second story type house. This is a huge, huge home. I mean, that was a raging fire that we just saw right there. You know what I mean? So. I mean, all over. This isn't the first time they've had judges who were knocked off over certain types of rulings and stuff like that, or things like this going on. I mean, you got the 2 girls at the same time who were just allegedly ran down with a car from a 17-year-old. These are 2 teen girls were run over by a 17-year-old who was going 70 miles an hour. Yeah, and he just told them because they said something negative about Charlie Kirk. This is not to wrap all this around into one thing, but this just shows the kind of right-wing violence that we're going through, and that's consistently happening. You know what I mean? And you have a lot of this going on.
It's not going to stop. I mean, all it's going to take, we don't have a viable president right now. We have people can say what they want about, like, oh, Obama was a great divider. No, you just didn't like a black president. Donald Trump is the divider. He's red and blue. Donald Trump has never tried to get Americans to come together for anything. And right now he's saying the radical left and the far left is doing this. All he has to do is say, hey, you can go out and do whatever you want to the leftists, and we won't charge you with the crime. And they're going to go out and do it because they're doing it now. I can speculate all I want. They burned her house down. You know what I'm saying? Like,
allegedly, yep.
Allegedly. Yeah, come on now. Yeah, all them, but I mean, how did they not know or see these people come around their house and set it on fire? Which is the crazy thing. And then why do they want all the voter registration? You know what I'm saying? So they can know who's a Democrat, who's a registered Republican, so they know who to go after and who to target. You know what I'm saying? Like, I keep telling people, like, look, you only have so much you have. I'll give you until Christmas. You better get you some guns and ammo, because if you ain't got them by now, you're not going to be able to get them. And then you're going to be a shit out of luck.
Get rid of your law. Basically, you're getting rid of your, make sure they can get you fired from your jobs, whatever the case may be. Turn this into a real fiasco all the way up the top. Oh, whoever isn't a loyalist, we're firing out of the government, because they understand what they want to do. This is a big thing right here. If they were to give these people their voter registration rolls, and I mean, that's impeding upon your privacy. We're basically turning voting into a public act, where it's like, this is what they'll tell people that you voted, but they don't tell them who you voted for. They don't do that. But now you're going to start knowing who people, party affiliation, all this other stuff that you really shouldn't be in. You really shouldn't be in a voter booth with anyone. Everyone should be able to make a decision not based on fear, not based on worry, because that there's plenty of jobs that have told their employees, like, hey, yeah, you better cast a vote for this person if you want to have a job in the morning. This is well documented. I've heard this before.
I've heard it. Yeah, I've seen those. They had articles about that for Donald Trump. Like, people have been like, hey, you either vote for him or you're fired. You know what I mean?
Like, and so now you have the actual evidence of who this person voted for. This is what I'm not sure if it's just the rolls, but we'll see. You know what I mean? We'll see how far this goes. You guys give a little bit too much credit to this administration, think that they won't do something, go further than what they should. They've shown you on a consistent basis who they are.
Remember, Wes, I already told everybody what's going to happen, right? Like, yes, they're going to make a special task force like they did. They're doing the ICE thing, right? To round up all the migrants, right?
Mm-hmm.
But hate don't stop. So when they get done rounding up the migrants, well, who are they coming for next?
Wait. This has been something that you've said for a minute.
For a minute,
you've always said for a minute, but they didn't. There wasn't no when they got done. We got something a little bit later. We're going to talk about you. I think you got a good story on that's showing you they're not waiting until they get done with them.
Yeah,
for anything. You know,
they have everything in place. Look, it's not going to stop. You know what I'm saying? Yeah, of course they're rounding up the Mexicans right now, but then they're going to come after the blacks. Then they're going to come, and while they're doing that, hey, well, let's get all the Democratic people that support that too. You know what I'm saying?
Like that. You talked about this already with the law that the memorandum that he just made up about going after left wing, what they call them, like basically groups. You talked. This is a segment that we already had right here. So if we really pay attention to what we said from the beginning, what we both speculated on, what you speculated on from the very beginning, it's coming to fruition right in front of our face.
Yeah, I mean, when you think about evil, there's only so much you can do evilly. Like I can do evil stuff if I wanted to, because it's really easy to, it's easier to do evil things than to do kind things. People don't understand that. Like I can like when I can make music and make positive music, right? But if I want to make stupid, crazy, ignorant music, it's easier. Yeah, it's mad easier. So it's just easy
to say anything, pretty much.
Speaking of that, ladies and gentlemen, Trump administration threatens no back pay for federal workers in shutdown. President Donald Trump's administration warned on Tuesday of no guaranteed back pay for federal workers during a government shutdown, reversing what has long been standing policy for some 750,000 furloughed employees, according to a memo being circulated by the White House. Trump signed into law after the longest government shutdown in 2019 legislation to ensure federal workers receive back pay during a federal funding lapse. But in the new memo, his Office of Management and Budget says back pay must be provided by Congress if it chooses to do so as part of any bill to fund the government. The move by the Republican administration is widely seen as a strong arm tactic, a way to pressure lawmakers to reopen the government now in the 7th day of shutdown. There are so many people that don't deserve to be taken care of, and we'll take care of them in a different way, Trump said during an event at the White House. He said payback depends on who we're talking about. Asking a second time about back pay for furloughed federal workers, given that the requirement is spelled out in the law, Trump said, I follow the law, and what the law says is correct. Refusing retroactive pay to workers, some of whom must remain on the job as essential employees, would be a stark departure from norms and practices, and almost certainly would be met with legal action.
That's crazy talk, man. I got friends of mine right now who they're making go to work.
Same.
We live in a place where there's we have a lot more DOD workers and things of that nature right around us.
It's the biggest employer where we live at.
And so when you think about something like that, you're being made to go to work. You look at there's even airline people right now who are calling off work sick right now. You know what I mean? Due to this. And there's also I think there's some air traffic control.
All funded by the same. You have the air traffic control, all this stuff.
There's a place that has no air traffic control people for one day, like this week or something, because if it's me, man, how are you gonna make somebody go to work? Just go to work and work and not be told not being told if they're gonna get paid or not. That's crazy.
And the president comes out saying, "Hey, we might not pay you for what you did." Like I don't go to. Let my check come a day late. I'll be like, I ain't coming in yet. You got. No, sir. No. My ancestors did that. I do not, sir. I don't work for free. This is
crazy,
not
man. That is crazy.
I'll stand there and wait for my paycheck. Like
that is crazy, man.
I'm like, no, I don't.
I'm gonna tell you like this right now, man. It's just sad to hear that from people that that they're going through stuff like that. Being in a situation where you just don't know if it's going to come to you or not, you're just basically getting up and going to work. What if you if you down bad? What if you down bad?
Hey, a lot of people, even though they make pretty good, decent money, a lot of people are still living check to check. You know what I'm saying? So you're waiting on the thing about you get paid on the 1st and the 15th, and we've been shut. They probably got that last check, but now you're kind of stressing, like, hey, now you got to call the phone company, like, hey, I might not have this. You got to call the electric company. You know how embarrassing that is? And now they have it digital now. It's like I had to put mine 2 days ahead for my phone, and they were like, do you need to change because usually you have to talk to somebody, but I haven't done it in like years. So when I finally did, they're like, what date do you, or it was I could do it on my phone. What day do you want to move it up to? I was like, oh, just the 20th. And they're like, okay, nothing crazy, but yeah, mean, the longer it goes on, and think about it, I'll be damned if I go to work. You talking about I ain't getting paid. I'm gonna stand at the gate.
You remember the last one they said went 34 days or something like that. The longest went 34 days. I remember that. I knew somebody who worked in the, for the government at that point in time. They didn't get paid or nothing for those days. They got back pay afterward, but it was all bad during that time. It was,
And now they're saying he's trying to storm around like you might not get back pay. He's hoping everybody will just pass the bill. Like, nah, bro. Like that's the sad state of affairs that we're in right now, bro. We have an incompetent person. We have an incompetent, sensitive little baby bitch ass person in the White House. You know what I'm saying? He's like, you shouldn't be talking bad about me. I'll get you shut down. You better do this.
To attack the citizens of the United States of America.
Of course.
Over at the, you know what I mean? And it's crazy, man. That's who he'll go after.
Because he'd rather protect a handful of child aping men, basically.
And on top of that, he'd rather make sure that people around him are enriched by what he does. He doesn't care what happens to you. That's the biggest thing. He doesn't care about you or what happens to you. He's willing to say, you know what? Put tariffs on the soybeans, because he don't care about the farmer who loses his farm to this other big farmer who may take his own life because he can't pay his bills. He's not used to that. You can't think about that. Paying his bills is paying some bank who he owes money to, he can just file bankruptcy for. It's not about paying the bill to keep the lights on and feed your kid for the day. He's not worried about that. So he doesn't even know who you are, what you're going through, as far as, hey, knowing who you are, as far as your struggle, your strife, the strife that you have to go through in everyday life. He doesn't get that. So, I mean, let's just be real here, man.
Yeah,
that's crazy.
It's all about him and his power trip. It's like he don't care who's getting stepped on as long as they make their money. You know, he's like, oh, we're sending troops up the blue states. There are red people up there. You can't even look at the states these days as blue and red states. Yes, there's the blue might vote more and the red might vote, but it's a mixed bag everywhere you live, and you're just terrorizing people just to do it.
I mean, at the end of the day, he looks at this as I mean, he thinks of it as blue and red and all that. And people individually, they kind of think of themselves as like there's something over the top of their head. Maybe it's a Trump flag or whatever it is. It's going to keep something from happening to them. But you're all a part of the same mishmash that we're a part of. So you think when a bullet flies is going to know, oh, I'm coming after Wesley. You know what I mean? He's a Democrat. We're going to go after him. No, it can hit anybody. Bullets don't have no name. At the end of the day, if something happens to me, something happens to your kid, you're going to feel messed up about it because you're not looking at this government for what it is, man. This is a anarchy. This is a takeover, man.
I wonder how the blacks and the Mexicans for Trump feel. Like, do they sit there and cry about that? Like, damn, what did I do? They probably don't even care. Like, there's some people that won't even admit to what they've done. But I'm just like, I'm thinking about that now. Like, damn, bro, like you was a gung-ho. I got a guy on my page right now. He was gung-ho. Only Trump can fix this. Da-da-da. Now he's all, oh, we got to get rid of this, dude. I'm like, no, bro. I want to call you out, but I don't want to. You know what I'm saying? Like,
call him out, man. Call him out with this, man. Tell him.
Like, bro, you was all up on his nuts, and now you seeing what he's doing. Like, damn, oh man, we got to get rid of this. I'm like, nah, bro, you helped bring this in. This is what some of y'all wanted. Look at these farmers about to get a bailout. They might get a bailout. So you like socialism now, right?
Mm-hmm. It's crazy, man. Because I had a guy on my page here talking about, like, I want to go out and answer him because he wasn't on it was his page, and I said something on his page. I want to go answer him, but I don't really want to even waste my time.
I don't want to argue because people want to argue days later. They want to it's 2 days later now. They want to bring up the argument. I'm like, look, I'm over that.
Look, so he says on this thing, we don't want this socialist. No, sir. I mean, you live in a red state, man, an agricultural red state at that. Don't get me wrong. They have a good governance in that state. They're good. But at the same time, though, you think subsidies aren't what's keeping you guys in the black? You think that, the huge government subsidies helping out farmers and putting subsidies on all your crops aren't what's keeping you guys fed, or immigrants aren't what's keeping you guys good? Don't get it twisted around here. You are so much socialist. It's crazy. You are the biggest socialist that there are. You're bigger than welfare. You know what I mean? So
you see the one farmer come out. He's like, I thought when they got rid of all the migrant Mexicans, the blacks were going to come work in the fields, but they didn't. Now my crops are gone.
Is that what he said?
Yeah, he said that because that's what they told him. Remember Trump said, he's like, we're going to get all the urban people to come out here and work. That was the plan. You know what I'm saying? Like, no,
I didn't hear that. I gotta see that one. That was crazy. Oh, that is crazy work right there. As the youngsters say, that's crazy work for him to say something like that. That's a cold one. I thought the blacks. I gotta see that. You got to show me that.
Hey, listen, you got it. Quoted that one time. He said the urban.
No, I remember. I'm talking about the farmer. You said a farmer said this.
A farmer said it. Yeah.
This is crazy work, man. Hey, have you guys ever thought that any of us or any black people are going back to work in your fields ever again in life? You are crazy. That's not ever going to happen, brother. Only fields I'd ever work in will be my own. You know what I mean? What is you talking about? That's just, but that's part of life, man. People tend to say crazy stuff. But listen, UN rights chief says Haiti's use of drones likely unlawful. Hundreds killed this year. The UN human rights chief said on Thursday that Haiti's use of lethal force against gangs was disproportionately and likely unlawful. Says its actions, including drone strikes, accounted for more than half of this year's killings and injuries. I am concerned that state law enforcement has used unnecessary and disproportionate lethal force in their operations against the gangs, Volker Turk told the UN Human Rights Council in Geneva. He said the police units had summarily executed 174 people for alleged gang affiliation this year, while government drone strikes against alleged gang members in the capital Port-au-Prince had killed at least 559 people to date, including 11 children. Most of these drone strikes are likely unlawful under international human rights law, Turk added. In a recent attack on an alleged gang leader's birthday party where he was handing out presents to the locals. Handing out presents to local children. At least 8 children were killed, according to local media reports. Armed groups have for years expanded their influence in almost all of Haiti's Port-au-Prince and more recently other parts of the country in conflict that has forced some 1.3 million people from their homes and fueled famine-level hunger. The UN Secretary Council in 2023 agreed to mandate Kenyan-led security forces as reinforcement for Haitian police, but a lack of contributions from member states resulted in just a fraction of the expected deployment. Haiti's transactional government turned in March to Avectis Global, a private security firm led by Blackwater founder Eric Prince, to deploy explosive package drones against alleged gang members. Avectis Global did not immediately respond to requests for the comment, nor did Haiti's police transactional government. This week, the Security Council voted to widen the potential scope of the force, though it would still rely on substantially voluntary contributions that have yet to materialize. So, I mean, they said that more than half of the killings this year were caused by these drone strikes. They're killing kids, everything. You're basically drone striking people in your own. I mean, how can you? I mean, you at this point in time, and you having an outside force do it, who is Eric Prince, who's come out. Eric Prince has come out and said, if African countries cannot govern themselves, we need to go back to the days of basic colonialism when we took over those governments and do it for them, so they can't do it for themselves. He said, I'm okay with doing it. This is a person who has a private army who's talking about going in and taking over African nations, countries in Africa.
They want to take over African nations because Africa's kicking everybody out. You saw what happened to France. France got kicked out of where's the place we've been France is
Niger, Burkina Faso, Mali,
their economies collapsed.
Chad,
they got kicked out. And our African countries, bro, they're like, nah, we'll just take over ourselves. We'll run our own mines, our own gold mines, our own lithium mines, and the European countries can't deal. They're like, whoa, they're trying to ban them from shipping stuff out, and they don't want, because of course they got to take it back, because if you ain't got it, if you don't have control of these countries, you don't have anything. European countries don't have natural resources. You know what I'm saying? Like, they don't have any, not enough to sustain them. And so, I mean, drone strikes is crazy, but that's the way it's going. Like, I don't know if you've seen, like, in the Ukraine, how they have all those nets everywhere, all the wire, and all the wire. That's because they have the drones. They're undetected because they have the drones hooked up to these wires, and they fly the drones in, and they use those to go blow up the tanks and the soldiers. But if you look up, it looks just like hella spider webs. And so, I mean, that's what warfare is these days. It's just, you know, it's drone warfare. I mean, they're building robots in China right now. You're saying that men can climb and stuff. So having troops on the ground, it don't matter. You're just going to use drones. And I mean, you're like, hey, what kind of country bombs their own people with drones? I mean, look at America. Give it a minute. Give it a minute.
I mean, when we're looking at Haiti for what it is, I mean, these Kenyan-led forces were supposed to have support from the United States, from international sanctioned bodies that were going to make sure that this was taken care of. The UN, all these different people came out and said, hey, we elect Haiti to go in there and help out with this. Why are these people not supporting this? I mean, you got countries like France who made Haiti pay them, I think it was $140 million. This is back in the 1800s. You know, they made them pay them basically to say that, okay, we're now free. We're going to make sure they made them pay them for their freedom, basically saying we've taken our freedom from you. They're no longer be slaves. The United States came in about 1910, 1918, somewhere around there, and stole all the gold out of their banks and took it and put it in our banks, in Fort Knox probably at this point in time. You know what I mean? And so we never paid them any kind of reparations for this. This has gotten to a point to where we need to start helping people help and take accountability for what they've done to Haiti. They put them in, they sanctioned them for them being a slave colony that overthrew their local government, or what you want to call their masters at the time. You know what I mean? So this has been an ongoing plight against Haiti by all countries from all over the world. At this point in time, someone needs to step up. And I wish
Haiti messed up the money.
If you mess up the money, this is what they're going to do to you. You know what I mean? The United States has been complicit in it. We went in and stole their gold, but we're now sitting there watching this dude. Prince is a racist, man, in my eyes. Alleged racist. I think he is a racist. That is my opinion of him. He is a racist. He spoke about African nations like they were just chess pieces on the board. I mean, we want to let him be in another black country. What do we think? He already told you what he's thinking about it. He's already showing you right now that he might be thinking about, let me take over Haiti. He already has his private forces down there. If I can put myself in the right positions here, I could run this. You know what I mean? I'm basically getting practice on blacks. That's what they're getting to do right now. You know what I mean? It's just crazy to me, man.
And I keep telling people, get yourself some guns, get you some supplies, and learn how to do some stuff. Or you can sit on the internet and keep retweeting things like it's going to fix your problems, but the people with the guns are coming into your cities. And pretty soon, he's going to unleash them on all of you. On all of us. And if you're not sitting here prepared, you're going to be stormed on. And then, ladies and gentlemen, we're going to keep you updated as long as they let us do here in America. How many days has it been, Wes?
Been 260 days since the occupation has begun. Stay vigilant, stay ready, and get ready to get out there and protest. This is all we got left over right now.
Yep, stay dangerous. Once again, ladies and gentlemen, it's Uncommon Courtesy. Until next time.